Okay, so I made a video talking about which 4 teams that I thought had a chance of coming out of the NFC and making it to the Super Bowl. And now I'm going to do the same thing for the AFC. But before I get into this list, I just want to say that it was kind of hard for me to pick because one week certain teams will look like what everybody expected them to look like, and then the next week they'll completely lay an egg. That being said, here I go. The Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens are now 7-3. They stand first place in the AFC North. They're a bit of a fascinating story because at the beginning of the season they suffered some big time injuries to their roster, losing Marcus Peters to an ACL tear, J.K. Dobbins to an ACL tear, and Gus Edwards to an ACL tear. Unfortunately for the Baltimore Ravens, it was tear ACL month at the beginning of the season. But watching them this season, the Ravens are who they are. And what I mean by that is that they have a good defense, a good offense, particularly when they're running the ball. When they're running the football, they're very effective. But going back to their defense, they've never really had a dominant pass rusher like that one guy that stands out, that just pops off the stat sheet or the television screen. And they're usually more effective in terms of getting after the quarterback when they're blitzing. It seems like collectively they are more dangerous when they're bringing 7 or 8 defenders at the quarterback. But their secondary has been their biggest strength to me, being able to play man-to-man, create turnovers, making the opposing quarterback hold on to the football. But although their defense has given up some big plays this season, I would say that their weak point so far in that secondary probably would be the safety position. There's been times where the cornerbacks will let the wide receivers go because they think that they're going to have safety help over the middle, but the safeties will come down and then the wide receiver will run free and boom, they get hit for like a 60-yard touchdown pass. But that can easily be fixed, in my opinion, if they just did a better job of communicating, because I still think they have the talent. The cornerback who is filling in for Marcus Peters, Anthony Everett, has been pretty solid so far. Now moving on to the offense, Lamar Jackson is not, he's still shown that he can't really throw the football very effective. Now, of course, people will say, what the hell are you talking about? He's had many games where he has thrown over for like 300 yards and multiple touchdowns and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yes, he has. But when you watch him throw, the receivers are wide open. The defenders are 10 or 15 yards away from the wide receivers. He can get it to someone who's wide open, sure, as he should. But when it comes to getting into a rhythm or needing him to make a play with his arm and making those tough throws consistently where the receiver can get it and the defender doesn't have a chance of getting the football, I don't think he does a very good job of that. He's more effective when he's utilizing his legs. The Baltimore Ravens are at their best when they are running the football. RPOs, play actions, okay? When you get the running game going, then the play action and the passing attack gets going, because then you can run plays like bootlegs, rolling Lamar out, getting him out of the pocket. So now the defense not only has to respect the passing attack, but they also have to worry about the threat of him running the ball. So if the Ravens stick to running the football, their strengths, running the football, and defensively utilizing the blitz and do a better job of communicating and being on the same page, then I think they'll have a good shot of getting to the Super Bowl. The Buffalo Bills. I like Josh Allen. I liked him watching him play his rookie season. He clearly had the athleticism and the arm strength. And during that time, I said that he was the best mobile rookie quarterback because he had some games where he had more rushing yards than the running backs on the team. But with all that being said, he needed to work on his accuracy, doing a better job of throwing the football, and also not trying to do too much, like just give up on a play. If someone is in your face and you're running 20 yards backwards, and you're still trying to throw the ball down the field, just give it up, okay? Throw it away. But I think he's done a better job of doing that, of not trying to make something out of nothing and putting his team in jeopardy. But as far as his quarterback play, he's taken a step back. Last season, he showed that he took that step forward. It's like, okay, he's finally here. Buffalo has a quarterback, and he was sensational. But now this season, he's been a bit up and down. More so down. He's turning the ball over. He's not showing that accuracy that he did last season. The best game that he's had so far this season was against Washington, and that's it. I would say that's the only game where he truly looked like the Josh Allen of last year. Buffalo's defense, despite what happened against the Colts and against Jacksonville, even though they only held Jacksonville to like 9 points, but if you watch the game, Jacksonville probably should have had at least 24 points on the board because they missed some opportunities to get into the end zone. I still like their defense. it's still pretty good. I think they have it all. Pass rush, create turnovers, good coverage, getting teams off the field on third down. Buffalo just needs to be consistent, okay? And Josh Allen needs to be more consistent, more importantly. But I do think that they don't run the ball enough. You have Devin Singletary, and now you have Matt Breida. You have two capable running backs that are capable of making big plays and churning out 5 or 6 yards a pop. I do think that Buffalo gets a little too pass happy for my liking. Constantly in the shotgun, you're constantly throwing the ball. They can be a bit one-dimensional. And now that you have a struggling quarterback, I think it's a coach's job to try and help him out. You have to establishing a running game for any quarterback is very important because that makes life easier for the quarterback and it opens up so many other things. And kind of like in Lamar's case, Josh Allen is mobile, and if you get the running game going, play action comes along with that. So with the Bills, Josh Allen has to be more consistent, utilize the running game more. Defense also has to be consistent. Consistency with the Buffalo Bills. And they'll probably be able to make it back to the AFC Championship game and win it and finally get back to another Super Bowl that they haven't been back to since 1994. The Kansas City Chiefs. This is without a doubt the worst year the Kansas City Chiefs has had. Now, their record is 7-4, and they are also number 1 in their division. But still, this is the worst year that they have had. Why? Because when you compare it to recent years, the Chiefs in the past have looked unstoppable. And I think the reason why they're struggling this season is because of the flaws that they have had since the Patrick Mahomes and the Andy Reid era has started. Number 1, the defense. The defense hasn't really been very great. And someone might say, well, hold up, what do you mean flaws? Okay, they won a Super Bowl back in blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Yes, they did. And when they won that championship, that defense stepped up. They were able to make plays and get other teams off the field. Really, they've never really been, I would say, a top 10 defense because they've always given up just the same amount of points as they score. The secondary constantly gives up big plays. And when Chris Jones, who's been pretty quiet lately, besides what happened Sunday against Dallas, and when he's not going, who else do you depend on getting after the quarterback? Now they signed Mark Ingram, so hopefully he'll continue to have a bit of an impact going down the road. And then the offensive line. Last year, the notion was, why are the Chiefs in these close games? Should we be worried about the Chiefs? The response would be, no, they're just bored. They're just bored, right? And I'm thinking, no, they're not. That offensive line gets bullied when they go up against teams that have talented pass rushers, when they have a legitimate front 4 and a front 7. You look at the Saints, for example, that Saints game that they had, and you see the final score to that game, and you look at how that game played out, and you come away from that saying that the Chiefs were bored because they didn't blow them out like they should have. No, the New Orleans Saints were still a Super Bowl contender. Not this year though. It looks like their last window at getting back to the Super Bowl was last season, and hopefully it stays that way. In case you couldn't figure it out by that little snide remark, I am a Falcons fan, unfortunately. But anyway, that offensive line wasn't very good, talented defenses, and you finally saw that play out in the Super Bowl against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. And on top of all that, the Chiefs are still playing some sloppy football. Guys are dropping passes. Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, their superstar receivers, are dropping passes. And Patrick Mahomes hasn't really been as accurate as we're used to him being. Not doing a very good job of taking care of the football. So the Chiefs, they've got to get it together. But with all that being said, I still have them on this list because you still have that wide receiving core, you still have Patrick Mahomes, you still have that coaching staff, and we've seen teams crank it up to another gear in crunch time when they need to the most. So this Sunday and beyond, they may go back to their old ways and start dropping 30+ points on teams. And then next thing you know, we're going to be talking about Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs being in the Super Bowl yet again for 3 consecutive years in a row. I have the Chiefs as my number 2. Those damn Patriots. Remember when Tom Brady won his championship last season? People were saying that, Tom Brady was a system, and Bill Belichick was never a good coach, and Tom Brady was the man behind those championships, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, you people are dumb. You people are dumb. Okay. Number 1, Bill had Cam Newton. Number 2, he didn't have a very good defense, particularly when it came to stopping the run. Number 3, he had bad receivers that couldn't get open. And number 4, he had Cam Newton. Okay. I think after like week 6, he started to heavily incorporate the run in his offense because Cam Newton can't throw. All right, Matt Ryan haters, he can't throw. But that doesn't matter because, he knows how to flex and have fun on the field and have a party and all this stupid crap that you hear. So now it looks like Bill has a team. It looks like the Patriots went out, spent some money. Nelson Aguilar, Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, Kyle Van Noy is back. Matt Judon, who was the pass rusher that I mentioned when I was talking about the Ravens, that I thought was their best pass rusher on the team. But now he's in New England. He's tearing it up. And yeah, they're once again. They're back in first place once again. 7-4 in their division. And now it seems like they have a quarterback in Mac Jones coming out of Alabama, who has been the best rookie quarterback so far this season. I think you can say that, but it's not like he's really taking the world by storm. He's doing what he needs to do. He's running that patented Patriot offense. And I have the Patriots number 1. They seem to be the only team in the AFC that's playing consistent football at the moment. And who knows, the freaking Patriots may find themselves back in another AFC Championship game, and it could be against the Chiefs. If I had to pick, I'd pick the Patriots and the Chiefs. Do I think Mac Jones will outplay Patrick Mahomes? Not really, but I just think the Patriots would win that football game because they're a bit more of a complete team than the Kansas City Chiefs. Patriots are my number 1 pick on the AFC list to make it back to the Super Bowl. And that is it. So the Ravens, Bills, Chiefs, Patriots. Those are my 4 teams who I think has a chance of making it to the Super Bowl. If you agree with this list, or if you have a different list, please tell me in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. That's it. I am out.